producers that produce songs and they're just like, they don't listen. They, like, play the song for me in this room. Pick up a
Yeah.
guitar and play it for me. What's the lyrics about?
Yeah.
Drummers that don't play the lyrics, which is wild for you because there's a lot of like, if you stay true to the lyrics of Body Count, you won't have rotator cuffs by the end of your show.
Oh yeah.
You know, there's a lot of aggression there's a lot more depth than I think people think when you really. So I get a lyric sheet, not so much anymore because now I can kind of hear it, you know, with John, and I'm not going in with John, but when I play other people's sessions that aren't John, I get a lyric sheet and they always look at me like I'm stupid.
Why?
But I'm like, no, because here's the thing. I got to give this to Emerson, lead singer of Tonic.
Okay.
I was just supposed to fill in for a month.
Oh, that
And
was
it turned,
it.
yeah, it turned into 11 years, but I was just supposed to fill in. And I played, and he came to my hotel room that night, and he was like, Brian, our tour manager, he was like, Brian's going to bring you my lyrics tonight, printed out. He was like, I'd like you to stay on, but like, I want you to play with me. And I was like, well, I was playing with you because I was thinking about the guitar, and you know, because I was kind of, but I was better than most at doing that at that time. But he really changed my life, and I'll always respect him for this, and I'll always love him for this as a friend, because he was like, man, remember that fill? And if you could only see, remember that fill going into the bridge? We were like, God, you did something fast. And I was like, oh yeah. And I remember the fill, and dude, I burned it down. It was beautiful. I was like, it was a great fill. And I nailed it. First night, 15,000 people. It was like, man, look at my dick. It was great. It was great. I nailed it. I nailed it.
Yeah.
And he was in my hotel room 3 hours later, and he was like, yeah. If I told you that song was about my mom refusing to come to my wedding because she didn't believe in the relationship, would you have played that fill? And I was like, that fill does not belong there at all.
Oh.
And he was like, no, it doesn't. And I was like, what's Soldier's Daughter about? He was like, that's about abuse. And I was like, no. Oh, I've got to go. God. So he started playing me this one song, Soldier's Daughter. He was like, started to explain it to me. And I was like, oh, this song needs to sound like, this needs to sound the way a kid hears someone coming that they do not want to interact with.
Yeah.
So I need to just go, I need to sound like somebody stomping down the hallway when I play that. No ghost notes, no piddly bullshit. I need to just to be scary, right? So from there on out, like, Tonic changed my life for that reason, because they would explain like, oh, Emerson was like, this is about my, when we did his solo record years later, it's like Cigarettes and Gasoline. He was like, man, I need this to sound droning, and I need it to sound depressed, and I need it to sound like there's violence underneath it. And I was like, man, you're asking me to be like a method actor almost. And he was like, well, I need it because this is how I felt when we lived back in Jersey, and a couple of mob guys met us at the door, you know, my dad opened the door, and they took my dad out, and one of them turned around and looked at me and said, if you need your dad, I'll be in the Atlantic. And I never saw my dad again.
Oh my
and I was like,
gosh.
Why am I playing all these happy beats? Like, that's the worst thing I've ever heard in my life, you know? And I was playing, and you know, when you do, that's a lift, right? That's a, that's a, you're holding hands with your lady or your dude, or you got a dog in your lap, like, boom. No, that does not belong with Parents in the Atlantic.
Yeah.
I've got to go, everything has to be wrong about this beat, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't pay attention to that. And even if it's country and if you think it's like, oh, it's a beer song or whatever, we'll make it bounce. Beer song should be fun. Oh, it's a silly song about tailgates. Oh, cool. Tailgates. Okay. Make it fun.
Yeah.
How do you make the beat fun? How do you make the beat sad if they're singing about divorce? How do you make the beat, you know, we can do more with our non-melodic instrument than people are asked to do typically. And I don't know if it's noticed. I don't know if John notices. I don't know if, but I think that it's a subliminal thing where they notice it, kind of like if you go to an EDM show and you take the bass and you take the lowest bass knob and you just turn it down, the bounce they'll slow down. You know, and you turn
Yeah.
the bass up, you turn that lowest bass up that you don't even hear, and they start pumping more. Like it's a subliminal thing. They barely know why they're doing it. And I think people may appreciate the drumming and not know why they appreciate it if you're just paying attention and playing something with the intent that it was written with, you know.
Mm.
I think that's important. It has been, it seems like that's been important for me. I
All
don't,
right.
you know.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Will Dorsey Jr., Talk Music Podcast. If you like what you see, please hit that subscribe button. That little red button on there, just hit it. That will help me out tremendously. If you can also, subscribe to our YouTube channel, that will also help me. And if you wanted to download our podcast on Apple or Google or Amazon or even Spotify, you can check us out on there. Hope you guys enjoy the show.
Today's episode is brought to you by our sponsor, 𝐸 Studio, the new way musicians rehearse, record, and share their 𝐸 sessions on social media. Visit ERS on 𝐸studio.com. Download this amazing app on Google and Apple Apps stores.
Visit us on www.talkmusicpodcast.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Download our podcast on Apple, Google, Amazon, and Spotify.